All right, thank you, Rita. Right, guys, as I said, if you guys, well, just briefly explain who I am and how I landed here. I work right now at IMH, and my specialty is working in acceleration programs, joining startups with big corporates. We do a lot of scouting for startups. We are very close by startup ecosystem here in Portugal and going international. And today I want to talk to you guys about how do we pitch. But so therefore, let me share here a presentation deck that I prepared, and hopefully we'll get somewhere today. All right, that seems great. I'm gonna use two monitors because I want to be watching and seeing your faces, your reactions. It just gives me a little bit more of feedback, which is so hard to get when you are online. All right, great. So today I'm going to talk to you guys about how to pitch, and the hackathon that you guys are. It comes from the Building the Future. Building the Future is a technology event that happened for the 30th edition here in Portugal, and it joins together. It's probably one of the biggest tech events in Portugal, and it gets together a lot of technology leaders, industry leaders, educators. It's pretty a cool event. If you had attended, great. If you haven't attended it, you can attend it next year, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna like it. So right now you are done with registration, ideation phase, and the pre-selection, and you are now entering the development phase. I know you started on Monday. I think you have until Sunday during your development phase, and right now you are on your way to your pitch, which hopefully will be on the 24th of March. So when we talk about pitching here, it's going to be a 5-minute online pitch from what I heard. And you have to have in mind a couple of things. Doing a face-to-face pitch is hard, but doing an online pitch, it's much harder. And when I talk about pitch, I'm not talking about fruit. Let's not get into fruity details. So can anyone tell me what a pitch is? What is a pitch, basically? Just feel free to turn your mic and give me a couple of feedback. I think everyone is getting shy today, right? All right. So for you guys that you don't know what a pitch is, for you that already know what a pitch is generally it's a presentation with a purpose of presenting with clarity and persuasion. You want to pass your message on a clear form, and you want to make sure you sell your idea and the other people buys what you're selling. So let's talk about real things now. Let's go and talk about pitch structure. Yeah, definitely. I'm pretty sure you get excited about pitch structure, but I'm not going to talk about the pitch structure. I mean, you guys know about the pitch structure. It's online everywhere. I'm not going to talk about it. If you guys want me to point you out on a couple of examples, I can share it with Miguel, and he'll pass them on to you afterwards. So what am I here to do? Well, I want for you guys to end up this day with an impactful pitch. I want to teach you how to do an impactful pitch. I want you to be the minion on the left, and then at the end of the presentation, at the end of these days, I want you to deliver a great pitch. And so first things first, I want to talk to you guys about how different is it face-to-face to online. I mean, time flows really, really fast. Time goes running. So pay attention to time. Body language gets harder to read. There's a lot of distractions for your jury or your investors. They can easily be on emails, chatting. They face interruptions now that they are working from home. And they can get on a phone call and hearing your pitch at the same time. It's really, really a pain. Sound is different. Your emotions the way you transmit your message, it's much harder on a virtual event than a live event. And ultimately, guys, it's a 2D. It's not a 3D. So there's a lot of chances that you don't get it. So with the risks we face not getting our full attention, it's so easy to bore whoever is listening to us, and this trust is so much more harder to establish. I mean, and at the end of the day, it's just all too easy to defer a decision. And what do I mean by this? I mean by, pretty sure if you have pitched, you've been in this position where the jury tells you, that's a very interesting idea, guys. I'll definitely get in contact and get to know more afterwards. And it's been 2 months, you haven't heard anything from them. Because why do you think this happens? Any idea, guys? Miguel, do you have any idea why this happens? I'm not sure if you guys are talking to me. I'm not hearing anything. I'll just assume that you're very shy today. Otherwise, if you can't hear me or if you are talking and I'm not answering, just let me know. It's because there's probably a technical issue here. But the main reason, it's because there's the lack of emotional empathy. And by emotional empathy, I mean there's a lack of emotional chemistry. I mean, if you want someone to buy what you're selling, you need to create this bond, this empathy. And so today, I don't want to talk about the pitch structure. I want to tell you how you can create empathy, how you can avoid mistakes. And I want to make sure that you are aware on what is the way you want to communicate. So bottom line, create empathy. Don't lose it. Let's break it down. 3 parts. Message, messenger, bottle. By message, I mean you need to have some content there. The messenger is the way you transmit your content, and the bottle is just a vessel you put all this information together. So, how do you pitch? That's the first thing. Pitching, it's like going to a restaurant. First impressions matter. When you go to a restaurant, they always start with a tease. They give you a small amuse-bouche. They give you a nice entrance. They give you maybe a great cocktail that you say, wow, that's nice. Then you have to eat well during all your course. I mean, the service from the restaurant employees has to be great, and all the dinner has to be good. Then you want to end with a blast. You want to end with a wow factor. I mean, it's all about the aftertaste you leave your clients that makes them come back to your restaurant, that makes them want more. And that's the same thing as doing a pitch. You want to make sure you provide great value through the entire meal. So how does this translate to a pitch? I mean, start with an intro, a teaser, something to hook their attention, and then talk about your why, go into the problem, build up some facts here, get facts, then you create a wow moment, you hit them with a revelation, yeah, have an amazing solution, the perfect solution for this problem. If you want to put the value proposition, you can. Sometimes I like to use it on the beginning, joining with my teaser, it's always a good way to put it. Then explain how your solution is different. Where is your competitive advantage, intellectual property, you can put all that. And then you want to close with a wow factor. And of course, what do you need and what are the next steps? Any questions so far? Do you guys have any questions? Feel free to drop any comments here on the chat. As I said in the beginning, I want to make this as more interactive as possible. I don't want to be having a one-side conversation during the whole presentation. So if you have any questions, just drop them in the chat. Just interrupt me at any time. That's totally fine. So next thing is, right, it's pretty nice. I like to go to restaurants, but how do I do this? Yeah, so you want to start with a message. You want to start with what I like to call the storyboard. This is the same way consulting companies do, and it's exactly the same way Disney films are made. So first things first, pick a piece of paper, get your wall, and start drawing rectangles. After you draw in a couple of rectangles, what you want to do is you want to go to each one, and on the top, get your own the takeaway, the main topic, what is really important to understand the message in that slide, and you place it there. When you've done this with all the slides, you want to go deep. You want to be able to write down the key message you want to transmit in each slide. And when you're done with this, you want to get a glue to connect all the slides together, all the message together, so they are coherent, so that your speech is fluid. And only at the end, you want to make it pretty and to get the real content there. So I said it's the same thing as they do for Disney, but I really didn't explain the other parts. So you can see Disney. It's amazing because they grip you from the beginning at the end. Even if you have kids, when you're rewatching this film, it's like you're watching for the first time. You're like, oh, I know this is gonna happen, but you are there, you are hooked. Why? Because they always start dramatic. I mean, first couple of minutes of The Lion King, the lion's father dies. Such a huge dramatic moment. There's a kid, like a couple months old, and it's going to live all by himself in the jungle. And then what they do, they keep on building these moments, and then they do a chana. There's chana moments of like where they show you something nice, and then they keep on building for the other moments. They build up, and then ta-da, you have another of these moments. And at the end, what they do is like they do an Hakuna Matata moment. They do like a huge challenge, and it's amazing, and you love it because it's like it does like completes the whole story, and that's why you're hooked. And this is how you deliver a clear message and create empathy through your presentation. So let's go a bit deeper. All right, a couple of you might know about the golden circle. A couple of you might not know about the golden circle. The guy that invented this, it's called Simon Sinek. You've probably heard of him. He's pretty famous. All right, and what Simon Sinek says is that your pitch is always better if you play it with your emotions and if you know exactly why you're doing it. Most people have no idea about the why, the problem. Actually, most companies go the other way around. They start with a what, then they go to the how, and then they actually go to the why. But if you go, let's take an example. If you go to a consulting company, like, what do you do? Oh, I sell stuff. How do you do it? I sell stuff with slides, and why you do it? Like maybe 5% will tell you why they do it. So the what, everyone knows it. The how, few know it, and the why, just few know it. And it's much different. I mean, coming to you, having a project, and so I do these amazing slides just to tell you and to solve your problems. And the other way would be starting with the why, which is we are a person-centric company that we believe in constructing solutions together with our clients. With the help of acceleration programs, we will actually bring a lot of startups to you and bring innovation. That's much more appealing when you start with a why than when you start with the what. So, and why? Why? How does this relate to your presentation, your pitch? It's because investors, they will tell you they go with a startup because they have this gut feeling, which actually is not a gut feeling. It's their emotional side of decision. This is actually scientific. This is why sales work. This is why relationships work. And that's it exactly same way why I'm friends with someone and I'm not friends with other one. It's the ability to create empathy. Because at the end of the day, people don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it. And this is how you should market yourself as a problem. So, I mean, now you know how to do it. You know the why, but let's take a couple more examples. I like to use this example. The copycats. Don't be a copycat. When you're doing your presentation, I mean, the best thing you can do is to be authentic. Be yourself, be unique. Don't say you are the Uber of fishing, the Airbnb of agriculture. That doesn't make any sense. Don't compare yourself to others. Don't pick other pitch presentations, because investors, juries, they've been doing this for years. They've seen thousands of different slides. If you're doing Steve Jobs slides, they will know exactly what are you doing, and you're just copying someone else's presentations, and they lose interest like that right away. So be authentic, create your own slides, and make them simple and clear. Another great thing is asking. Don't be that guy. Don't be the Santa Claus. I mean, you don't have a list that you want to go to the jury and say, I want this, 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 and that. Don't do it. I mean, you want to show that you have value. You don't want to be asking for value. Because if you can show that you have value, people will buy it from you. They don't care what you want. They just ask you how much. And that's good. So bottom line, be interesting, not self-interesting. It's 5 minute pitch. Don't go into huge technical details. I mean, technical details can get your presentation really boring. You can actually leave these questions for the Q&A at the end, where you have more time and you actually can explain better. Don't lose time on the technical details. I know a couple of guys, you don't like to use image. Images are great, but use them wisely. You don't want to, for example, having an image with the word headquarters and probably having a background with a guy going up a mountain, and it's completely unrelated. If it is relatable, good. If it's a climbing company, great. If it's a consulting company, now it doesn't make any sense. So be aware how you use your images. Use the full screen, use the full page. That creates more impact. And be aware of these four contrasts, because if they can't read it, they won't look at it. They won't understand. Also, be consistent. I mean, you're doing a presentation. It has to look like one presentation, not many presentations. Make sure you have the same font size, style and size, the type of pictures that you're using, and always check out these typos. I mean, even I've been doing presentations for a while now. I sometimes I miss a typo, and I've been watching that talk, that slide presentation like 20 times. But because I'm so into it, I can't see the typos anymore. So what I generally do, I ask for feedback. 2 or 3 people, I speak my phone. Hey John, how are you doing? I just want to show you a quick presentation. I do the presentations to them, and sometimes they say, "Oh, there's a typo there. Great presentation," and they're going to give you great feedback. I mean, that's the best way you can prepare for a pitch. Just pitch to someone else and ask for feedback. All right. Any questions so far? Hey, you have here Sarva, right? Hi. Sarva is saying, can I use PowerPoint presentations for the pitch? Absolutely. You can use them. You can use. I mean, PowerPoint's the most used for pitching. You have presentations as well. They work fine. I honestly like PowerPoint. I'm not an Apple guy. I know Apple has its own system, and it's quite nice. It's quite a nice PowerPoint similar tool. So use it as well. Miguel, if by any reason you can't hear me, just let me know, and I'll try to do something.
Bernard, I think the phone is mine. Don't worry. I think you're fine. If Rita, can you give it to Bernard? Are you hearing him well? That's me.
Right. I'm just gonna try to do something here. Right.
You hear me, Bernard?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you. So again, Saba here. Saba. So what I was saying is that you can use whatever you want to do your pitch, as long as you make it clean, clear, and you want to get your message to the other side well. So you want to make sure that you add value. That's my sentence. I'm going to say it a lot in the presentation. It's probably the most used sentence that I use. A couple of people say, how much info should I put on slides? How much, which images are the best to put on slides? It's not going to, a good pitch and a bad pitch is not going to be about the image. It's not going to be about the amount of content that you put on the slide. It's going to be about how you tell the story, because that's what it is all about, is how you tell the story. For example, I like to present with a couple of images, because that gives me the freedom of moving the presentation maybe to the left or the right, depending on how the audience reacts. I don't like to put a lot of info. You have 5 minutes for the pitch, so it's not mandatory that you all present. Imagine that you have 4 people on your group. It's maybe for those 5 minutes, the 4 of you presenting. That might be too much, but if you want to do it, just make sure you do it smoothly. Meaning, you don't want to say, now I'm going to pass the word to someone else, and then the second guy says, I'm going to pass the word to someone else. So just make sure those transitions are smooth. For example, I just ended at this slide, and Miguel from there will pick up on the other slide and continue the presentation. And that's the best way for you to don't lose time and make a fluid presentation. Positioning. All right. So a couple of questions for you guys here. You can just put on the chat the answer if you don't want to use your mic. How do we substitute positioning when you are online? I mean, when you are face to face, you actually can walk from one side to the other. You can look your audience in the eyes. You can look at those friendly faces. You can use your whole body to create movement, to create gestures. How do you do it online? Any ideas?
Maybe how you're doing it now. So you're standing, for example.
That's a great example. That's a great example. For example, if you stand, that's a good thing. But there's something more powerful that you can use when you are online. And that will be your voice. Your voice has the ability to change everything on a pitch, everything. So you can use it to build momentum. For example, let me give you a couple of examples right now. If you want to build a momentum, you just start growing and growing and growing, and you reach that high point, and then you hit with a solution. If you can also use silence. It's good, one of my favorite ones, and it works. You can use these silence breaks to emphasize what you want to say. You can also use numbering, for example. I want to talk to you about facts today, heights, how Miguel is looking, and my earphones. All right? You can use these techniques, these voice changes, and they will actually make a difference on the presentation, and they will actually make the jury pay much more attention to what you're saying. So use them and abuse from your voice, work your voice like it's an instrument, because it is, and it's the best instrument that you can have and you can use. Take advantage from it. So as I was saying, and this is my favorite moment of the presentation, it's to tell you guys about the energy and the anatomy of a good presentation. So the rhythm, this pace, you have to keep the pace. It's like a roller coaster. When you are in a presentation, you want to have a lot of energy, have a lot of ups and downs. And so right now, I have something for you guys. Let's do something more interactive here. So you have on the x-axis, you have time, and on the y-axis, you have energy and emotion. So I want you guys to tell me, if you have to draw a line of how your presentation should be, how would you do it? Would you do a U-shaped curve, an exponential curve, a straight line? How do you guys think? Zero ideas. Great. I'm probably explaining everything. So, I mean, sometimes when I do this exercise, people, one of the most common curve, it's the U-shaped curve. You start high, and then you go building up this huge moment, and you end your presentation with a high moment. Some people say it's an exponential moment. You start here, and then you build up, and you end big at the end. But I also have some other people that say it's a roller coaster that you go up and down, and it looks like life, you know. And that's ish, more or less. You can do it, but I won't advise you to do that. All right. So when you're doing this, you want to create those building up moments. You want to start high, and then you want maybe you want to start with your value proposition. Then you want to do a building up moment, and then you want to go high again, a high note. When I say high, I don't say historical. I don't say a Lady Gaga high. I don't say like, yeah, let's go. No, you don't want to do that. Juries don't like that. You want to start high with emotion. Make sure you know what you're saying and say it with energy. And here you can talk about the problem. So these first building up moments, you're building up, you're showing like there's a problem that really needs to be solved. And then you go back at building up this cycle, and then you, boom, you hit here another high note when you say, I have a great solution. I have the best solution ever. And then you can do a couple more building up moments, but what really is important, it's end really real high, saying that you have a unique problem, a great value proposition, and you make sure that you leave these aftertastes in the mouth of your jury, of your investors, whoever you are pitching. Make sure they contact you later. That's what you want from the pitch. This is just a preference. I like sandwich pitch. So sandwich pitch starts with and ends with the same thing, which for me it's the most important thing that I want people to remember after the pitch, 2-3 days later. So I like to start with a value proposition. It's like, this is what I do, what I solve. There's a couple of examples in how you can construct in a sentence a great value proposition. They are worth taking a while looking into that and make sure you're building those sentences well, because that's going to make a huge difference. And you have like 5 minutes to pitch, so if you can practice them, the better. All right, and as Miguel said, use your body. You can, today I'm doing a standing up presentation. It helps to create more emotion in the way I speak. And it actually gives me more energy. I can also be sitting down, but we'll take a look into that a bit later. And also an important thing is, if you have a 5-minute presentation, people tend to just go running and they hide behind the slides. They go and they put their presentation directly. And that's a break in empathy right there. You want to start with your face. I mean, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, start with your face. Make sure the jury puts a face on a solution. That's a great way to create empathy. And time, it's always important. If you have 5 minutes to pitch, don't go over 5 minutes. I'm pretty strict on time. Sometimes I give like 15 minutes, 15 seconds after the 5 minutes, for instance. I mean, half an hour is just too pushy. And if you go over half an hour, don't count it. So if you practice your pitch and you think it's a bit more than 5 minutes, try to understand what you must have for the presentation and what is a nice to have for the presentation. As I said earlier, you can leave a couple of topics for the Q&A on a more strategic way. That's also a fine thing to have. And now let's talk about the walking sticks and twitches. Anyone know?
Bernard, I think Pedro had a question.
Yes, Bernardo, can you hear me?
Yes, hi Pedro, how are you?
Okay. In that slide where you showed the graphic energy versus time, what's beyond the higher value of energy in the last period of the pitch? I didn't understand that.
So you are asking me why is it this part right here? What is it, right?
Yes. What's the reason beyond that higher value?
So the reason for that is that you want your presentation to have these building up moments, and the most important Sharan moment, it has to be your last one. It's like Muhammad Ali once said, like fly like a butterfly and sting like a bee. By that I mean you want to create these cycles, and then when you have something that you want to puncture, just do it hard. Do it loud. Make sure that you're clear when you say it, and that's how you end bound, because people don't remember your whole pitch. They remember parts, really nice tiny sections of it. And if you do these channel moments and you mark them well, this is how you deliver your value, your value at the end. I'm not sure if I understand, if I answered your question. If you have something else, you can try to also ask.
Yeah, it's more clear now. Thank you.
Great, absolutely. If you want, I can pass you your email and we can discuss a little bit more detail after that, or in the Q&A after the presentation, that I can go back and explain a little more better. All right, walking sticks and twitches. I mean, these are one of my favorites. It's you know this as that you do when you're trying to speak and you don't know what to speak, and you just leave in your presentations. Be careful. You see how I did it? I'm doing it again. You see it? So if you don't know what are your twitches, record yourself on a camera. It's really easy to understand once you see yourself presenting. The goal here is to know when to use it, when you want to use it, but don't push it. So you can use, instead of a moment, you can use a break. Breaks are good. They create a difference in what you're trying to say. People will actually focus. Right? And right now you just focus on what I said, because you were listening to the tone, and then you have a break. You're like, what happened here? What are you saying? Did I miss something important? You get FOMO, and so use it. Use these silence moments. They will help you gain attention. Finally, the bottle. This is good. So don't be this guy. Don't be, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Make sure you have a good mic, good lights, good camera, internet connections, and try to don't have a lot of interruptions. Here are a couple of examples. The guy on the left has no idea what he's doing. He's just out of frame. Don't do it. Just give it a try with a friend before. The guys on the right, top right corner, it's a classic one. I'm pretty sure everyone has seen his film sometime. He just gets it by the kids on national television in the US. And the one right there on the corner of the right corner, he has a really bad background. And also the lady at the background there, she's having a lot of light, too much light. I mean, you want to have light is good, but try to make lights like that. That's how you want to make it. And it's really important because you're trying to create empathy here. You want people to be able to see you well, hear you well. Either you can stand, or I think the best way is to make sure that people can see your hands, because hand movements will help you get their attention, and it's really a plus. If you can't hands because camera it's not good enough, just try to take advantage from the space that you are with good lighting. So bottom line, we have these three parts: content, transmission, and the bottom. So prepare. You already know how to do content, how to transmit it, and what are the do's and don'ts of what you should be doing. And right now I have an interaction moment with you guys. Let's see. So these are classic avoidable mistakes that I don't want you to do in the 24th of March. So I want you guys to tell me, what is the problem here? These guys say fascinating. So what's the problem? How did the guy that did a pitch fail? Any ideas?
He didn't start with the why question.
Exactly. He didn't start with a why question, so the problem was not that problem. And that made it. Again, I'm having some so the problem was in we have the now how
Hui, can I please ask you to mute yourself, please?
Yeah, sorry. I just came up because I had another online meeting that I really had to attend. So I'm just here for 5 minutes ago. I'm very sorry.
Absolutely, it's nice to have you here with us. Hui, can you tell me what's wrong with the image?
What's wrong with that image?
Yes.
Nothing is wrong. I wanted to be there right now.
I mean, how about the resolution? Is it a good resolution image, or would you?
No, it's a bad resolution. Yeah.
Exactly. Don't do it. Make sure that you run your presentation at least one time in a full screen, because sometimes you think it's a good resolution, but it's not. And it shows that you're not putting enough effort in your presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Another good example is this one. Any ideas for this one?
Too much information.
That's right. It's too much. Fewer is more. So you don't need that much. How about this one? This is more tricky. Let's see if you can find it.
It's not readable. No one understands that.
It's too complex. Don't make it too complex. If you're hearing something, and sometimes when you're having a nice conversation, it's not because it's really deep and complex. It's because it's simple that talking to you. He's very clear on the way he transmitted. This one, I love this one. This is one of my favorite ones, my favorite slide in the entire presentation. How about this one? Anyone? I'll give you a hand. It's about your competition. Saying, I have zero competition. This is one of the biggest cliches ever. There's no such thing as zero competition. You always have competition. Direct or indirect competition is always there. Actually, if I'm a jury on a pitch and someone tells me, oh, I have zero competition, it's great, I have a really nice first mover advantage, I'm going to say, like, it's a huge red flag. Say, like, you have no idea what you're talking about, probably haven't done enough research. Please go to your slides, work more, and come back in 1 year. And also, I mean, like the investors, your jury, they can know bullshit from miles away. So the best way you can transmit your value, saying that you are a transparent team with a transparent way of thinking, is to not use bullshit. They will understand it clearly. And finally, the Q&A. Q&A, you want it to be objective. I mean, if I'm asking you how much are you making, I don't want to be hearing, oh, we've been doing real well over the last years, and we had great results over this year. Actually, the first trimester, it was much better than the second one. I mean, be objective. I just ask you how much we make. I'm trying to look for a number, not something else. Don't try to get smart with juries. They don't like that. They actually hate that. It's something you don't want to be doing. And finally, on the Q&A, go to the facts. Facts. And I mean, transparency really matters. If you get, if they sense anything that feels wrong, they will hit you right there, and it's going to be an embarrassing moment for you. So don't try to get smart with them. I have a great example. I'm sorry this slide is in Portuguese, but it's basically the rise in the medical staff for the Portugal national health system. And what is the main thing that you can conclude from this graph?
It's not at scale.
Exactly. That's it. Like, if I see it very quickly, I'm gonna say, oh, it's going up really nicely. It's like 5 times it was from 2016 to 2021, and the thing is, it's just more 10K. It's fake. It's false. It's completely not transparent. So this is an example of how not to go, and don't put these kind of slides in your presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to end, just relax. I mean, after all, it's just a pitch. You're gonna do a lot of pitches in your life. You're gonna get a lot of no's, and sometimes you're gonna get a big yes. So enjoy it. Enjoy it the way you tell your journey, the way you tell your story about how to pitch, and like start with the high beginning, doing your building up moments, and end real high. That's gonna make the difference between the jury chooses you or not. All right. So, do we have any questions?
I have one, Bernardo, if I may. Since I just arrived, do you have any kind of written summary of what of what the subjects you've covered on this meeting?
Yeah,
Some
well, I
summary.
think I might have something better. We are recording the presentation, and I think Miguel will make it available for you guys, so you can just go back and review anything that you might have missed, if that helps.
Okay.
Exactly. From today, we will upload the video on Taikai.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Right. Is there anything like you are not sure what you should be doing? Like, should I do this or that? Now it's a great moment just to ask me anything. There are no wrong questions. They're all good questions. All right. Everyone is happy with the presentation. Good. So, I mean, that's all for me. Thank you so much for being here with me today. It's really nice to be with you guys today. And I hope you guys do a great presentations and hopefully a couple, most of you will win the prizes. I know just 3 prizes, but they're good. I was actually teased to participate in the program. I was like, oh my god, these prizes are amazing. I want to be part of it. But then Miguel was like, oh, well, I kind of want you to do a talk for this. So I was like, oh, I can't participate anymore. So enjoy it. I think I'll be with you guys together on Monday, right, Miguel?
Yeah, thank you very much, Bernardo. I believe this is an amazing tool for all the innovators to deliver a perfect pitch on next Wednesday. And yeah, so you'll get an email about this, but we're saving some time on next Monday, for you to, if you want to present your pitch to Bernardo and other mentor Inês. To hear feedback before Wednesday, before your final pitch. So it's very useful. We're setting up like 15-minute calls in which you can pitch your project and hear feedback.
Okay, perfect.
Miguel, do you have a question?
Yeah, sorry. I'm seeing that André Valente is recording this session. Is it going to be available to us or not?
Yes, it will. It will be available maybe today or tomorrow on Taikai platform.
Okay, just to check a couple of things over once again. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Perfect. So if no one has any other question, I think we'll end up here. Thank you again, Bernardo, and thank you to everyone who came. We hope you prepared a nice speech for Wednesday, and let us know if you have anything you need. You can reach out to me or to Bernardo, and we'll send you a communication about the Monday sessions. Okay. Thank you, everyone, and have a nice week. Bye bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice week.
Thank you. Good luck for the pitch.